Hey, what's up guys? My name is Jordan, and welcome to what you get when you mix red, white, and blue with the itsy bitsy spider.
Hey everyone.
Anyways, welcome to Nerdvana. So Thursday night I went and saw Spider-Man Homecoming, and it is easily one of the best Spider-Man movies so far, maybe even the best. I was so excited for this movie, about as excited as the 5 or 6 year old kid I ended up stuck next to, who thought it was on a need-to-know basis that he was going to a friend's house after this for a sleepover in the middle of the movie. Actually, that kid was pretty cool. We watched the 90s Spider-Man animated series on my phone as we waited for the movie to start. Shout out to that kid. Anyways, I love this film so much that the minute I left the theater, I went straight to the front desk and bought another ticket for the next showing. Since Civil War came out, I've been looking forward to this movie for so long, and it thankfully didn't disappoint. And it's not hard to figure out why. Marvel made it. Sure, Marvel's had some movies that could have done better, but lately they've just been killing it, and this was no exception. This was easily one of their best movies yet. The CGI was great, the acting was amazing, everything was just awesome. And thank God Sony finally shared the rights for Spidey. For those of you who are worried, this isn't an origin story. It actually takes place 2 months after Civil War. We don't get the revamped Uncle Ben story or see Peter get bit by the spider, so that was actually really refreshing. We all know the story, and them barely alluding to it like they did in Civil War was really nice.
Look, when you can do the things that I can, but you don't, and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you.
And for anyone worried about this being an Iron Man movie, it's not. He's barely in it. Maybe a total of 10 to 15 minutes, maybe less. I didn't bring a stopwatch, but he's not in it that much. And when he is, it serves a real purpose to Peter. I won't say anything that's not in the trailers, but we do see him save the day when Spider-Man fails. And he does take this father, or more like an older brother-like role with Peter, where he's usually pretty cool with him until he really messes up.
I was just trying to be like you.
I wanted you to be better. I'm gonna need the suit back.
But I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it.
And the chemistry between him and Peter is just so natural. I mean, Peter has this drive to impress Tony and prove himself as a future Avenger that ends up sort of being his downfall. The dynamic between them is just so great, and it's a lot like the short time we see them in Civil War. And along with that, every relationship in this movie feels so natural and real, especially Peter and Aunt May. Marissa Tomei fucking killed this role. I love the previous Aunt Mays, and Marissa Tomei made this role her own. She's the fun mom/aunt that everyone wants, and she does her best to help Peter with anything that she can, but she also doesn't take any shit from him. This really doesn't spoil anything, but there's a scene that I'm going to be vague about. It's this moment where Peter and Aunt May have this open heart-to-heart, and it's such a real moment. Peter is so vulnerable and she's understanding, and if you've ever just opened up to your parents or guardians like that, you'll love this. Aunt May was definitely one of the best things about this movie.
His friend was huge. Like huge.
Okay, tough guy.
Also, we see some really good friendships. Ned is amazing in this movie. He's hilarious and helpful to Peter. Both him and Tom Holland are around that 20-21 age, but they do come off as 15-year-old high schoolers. The entire school does. Unlike the previous versions, everyone feels their age. Unlike these two guys, who look like they're working Jump Street.
You look really old. Were you held back or something? Or?
No, you look super young. Were you held forward?
Now you kind of see it in the trailers, but Flash isn't this big mean bully like we've seen before. He's more of a giant douchebag, but he's also extremely smart. He's part of the decathlon team with Peter, Michelle, Liz, and Ned, and it actually works so well because of the setting. Midtown School of Science and Technology isn't a normal public high school. It's one that specializes in, well, science and tech, and it feels like where Peter belongs. And what I love about this school was how real it felt, especially because it mirrors how diverse New York is. In the movie, you see people of all ethnicities and faiths, just like a regular high school. I saw a Muslim girl in a hijab and an Orthodox Jew. It feels real, and I love that. Zendaya's character, Michelle, is awesome. She was inspired by Allison from The Breakfast Club and Lindsay Weir from Freaks and Geeks. Both characters I absolutely love, and she's kinda odd and weird, bit of a standoffish character. But by the end of the movie, you get really excited for her character and everything that entails. Liz is a really good first love for Peter. She's the most popular girl in school, but goes beyond that stereotype. She's the head of the decathlon team, so it was a nice fresh take on that type of character. She's part of this really nice twist in the movie that I won't spoil, but she is great. The villains in this movie were terrific. There are a couple main ones. We get some allusions and Easter eggs to more. You can hear about that in my other video, but it doesn't suffer from an overcrowding feeling that some of the other movies have had. The main villain is, of course, Vulture, aka Adrian Toomes, and Michael Keaton killed the hell out of this role. He was just so good at playing the villain, and he's actually a really complex character. He's able to almost justify the things he and his men do, and he does it all for his family. It's the most important thing to him. Providing for his family is why he turns to this new life, and he's almost or completely understandable for doing so. I never cared about the Vulture till now, and Michael Keaton just brought something to this role that was so special. He can turn face in a second, and it's honestly terrifying, and he's smart, and if anything, this may be the best villain we've ever seen in a Spider-Man movie or an MCU movie. What I loved about Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2 was the bad things he did came out of a misguided and yet somewhat noble pursuit. He felt like the ends justified the means, and that's exactly how Toomes acts in this movie. If you liked seeing Keaton as Batman or Birdman, you're gonna love this movie.
You're Birdman. You are a god.
So yeah, I love the hell out of this movie. There's so many great moments. Tom Holland is the perfect Spider-Man and Peter Parker that I've been waiting for years for. I love Maguire's Peter, but I thought his Spider-Man was lacking in places. And I love Garfield's Spider-Man, but he lacks something as Peter Parker in my opinion. Tom Holland, however, nailed this character in every aspect. There's another scene I'll be vague about, but it sold me so hard on Tom Holland as Spider-Man that I just gotta talk about it. He again shows his vulnerability, this time as Spider-Man, and he's crying and yelling out for someone to help him, and nobody can. And he realizes that he can't be dependent on others to fix every mistake he makes, especially not Tony, who does save his ass in this movie. But there's so much feelings in this one scene, and the second time I saw it, I felt everything for this character. He's not the perfect hero, and he's well in over his head, but he powers through it when everything looks like it's against him. And he makes mistakes and slips and falls in this movie, and that adds a great amount of realism to this character. As much as I love the previous Spider-Man, they don't hold a candle to Tom Holland. But this movie is incredible. The score, the editing, the relationships, everything feels so real. And again, this could very well be the best villain in the MCU since The Winter Soldier. The entire cast was perfect, and I could not recommend this movie enough. Go see it, then go see it again, because it's worth it. I was having the same reaction this little kid was having, and that's what I wanted from Spider-Man more than anything. I felt excited, terrified, humored. This movie does everything incredibly, and it's all believable and done so well. So yeah, it's probably my favorite MCU movie to date. Just go see it if you haven't. But yeah, that's all from me. If you want to help this channel out, you know the buttons to press. Tell me what you thought about the movie if you've seen it. Maybe check out the other video where I talk about some of the Easter eggs, and above all else, thank you for watching, and just stay nerdy.
Minor upgrade.
Oh my god. This is insane. Look at this thing. Look at the eyes. This is the greatest day of my life.
Let's go.
Okay.